Alright, this is sort of a pre-Vegas thing. I was going to go to the Vegas race, but unfortunately I have to be in somewhere else on that same weekend, so that kind of goofed up that. But anyway, I did have a chance to run my car at the Cleveland Gate warm-up race for the IIC. Unfortunately, nobody else showed up with an F1 car, but after the race was over, I did have a chance to run my car on the track out there at the gate, which was, traction was pretty good. There was a pretty good groove on the track, so it'd be somewhat similar to probably how things will be out in Vegas. Not 100%, but similar. And so I got the tires on my Exotech car the way I was planning on running it out there. I got the front end's a little different. This is basically a reactive caster front end, similar to how like the old Trinity front end was or whatever. You can adjust caster, you can adjust the camber, you can adjust their height on the balls here, and all that stuff. So it's the same basic geometry as the Tamiya front end, but everything's adjustable, unless, in fact you can even turn the camber plate to different settings to change how long this arm is here, which will also, it's kind of like similar to going in and out on the holes on a touring car, and raising this up and down is like raising and lowering the ball set on a touring car, so similar stuff. But that's kind of beside the point of what I wanted to get to. These are, I guess it's the medium ride tires is what these are, both mediums, I believe. Anyway, it is a spec tire. Got them from TQ, bought them from TQ. This rear tire feels pretty good, and it worked pretty good. The front tire is pretty darn hard. And I went out there on a track that definitely had a lot of traction. The car would turn in but not get out of the corner. And actually the way the front end is, the links are actually fairly aggressive in terms of how far down they are. And the angle of the camber link, it produces a little, I don't know if you can really see it, the tires do have some camber change. I didn't have a ton of time to work on the car because I just wanted to drive it around and sort of get an idea of what was going on. I did try to add some caster to the car because it wasn't turning out of the corner. And usually extra caster will make the car wrap a little more, wrap the corner. But in this case, all it really did was make the car flip off the track. It turned in, but it started having just a little more steering and stuff, but it wanted to flip off the track. So, really in that case, then you should go to less caster and try to make the car working in different ways. I put more caster into it. I should have probably just taken some caster out. But like I said, it was trying stuff quickly and I didn't have a ton of time to do things. But basically just felt like, the car would turn in and then just push out of the corner. Just push and push and push. I also did have, I got the short, this is the short light bulb, it ends right here. This is the short light bulb battery that Losi sells for a 22. So you have a lot more, room to move the thing back and forth and place the weight. I kind of place it forward because most of the time, like with the 12 scale guys, the reason why they're supposedly making the batteries go front to back and moving things forward on the car, especially on high bike tracks, the 12 scale guys are doing that to try to make the car easier to drive. A little more weight towards the nose of the car will make it easier to drive on high traction. So that's kind of like what I was trying to simulate. That may have been a problem, I don't know for sure. I mean, if moving the battery back, you know, maybe, hard to say how much. I didn't have a lot of time to experiment with moving the battery. I was kind of just trying to get a handle on what the car was doing. You know, I only had a couple runs to play with the car, just because of, you know, no one else showed up with F1 at the race, so I didn't work on the car until after the race, and there wasn't a ton of time to do that. Anyway, yeah, basically these tires are pretty darn hard, and I didn't even use a stock insert in here. I used a softer insert to try to, you know, knowing that they felt hard right out of the package. You knew they were real hard, and I don't know, you know, if the thing I don't like the idea of doing is going to a harder insert in the rear to try to make the rear tires stiffer, because I don't think that's the way to go. I mean, really, you want to put more traction into the car versus trying to take it out. So these fronts are, I'm not sure. It's gonna wind. I think that race is gonna be a wind up being a thing of who figures out how to make the car steer.